On the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori bags honorary doctorate award holds across the state. National Assembly postpones resumption to February 4. Abroad, Hamas free 4 Israeli soldiers in exchange for 200 Palestinian prisoners. Good evening and welcome to the Delta Television News at 8. I am Ogaga Ekama. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has been awarded an honorary Doctor of Science honoris causa in Public Policy and Strategy by the Novena University Ogume in recognition of his outstanding accomplishments in the governance of the state. The conferment took place during the institution
of regrets. Regret comes when you fail to tackle the opportunities that change offers. So do not live a life of regrets. Be bold, be open, and be flexible.
Also speaking, the Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Communication, Mr. Charles Aniago, his counterpart in Urban Renewal, Mr. Michael Anuka, as well as retired Rear Admiral Mike Honor, said the honorary doctorate degree on Governor Oborevwori was an acknowledgement of his giant size in economic development.
And that they have also been able to recognize that he's a governor who is dedicated to the advancement of education, in addition to his governance style. So this recognition is something that we do not take for granted.
The man has done well for the states, and he has done well for humanity and for the people of Delta State.
The Chancellor of the university, King Alfred Diete Spieth, said Novena University was a big lesson for the Nigerian state, exemplified by dint of hard work of the Pro-Chancellor, providing positive change in his immediate community and Nigeria. He challenged Nigerian leaders to work with vision, sincerity and conscience of building a better Nigeria. Chairman and Pro-Chancellor of the university, Mr. Chus Ochorogo, said the ceremony was a testament of 20 years of impactful service to the people, adding that the university had enhanced the economy of the host communities by creating employment and profitable economic activities. The Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Godwin Ndoka, said the university has stood out as the very first private university in Delta State. At the ceremony, the state deputy governor, Samonde Onyeme, was among the graduates with Master of Science degree in accounting. Ejime Uduime reporting.
Stakeholders in communities have been charged to obey the constitutions governing their areas for peace and development. The Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, gave the charge in Asaba at a meeting with representatives of Uzere Community, Isoko South Local Government Area. Henry Onogwa has details.
Dr. Emu said the meeting aimed to inform the people of the state government's decision on the lingering issues bordering on tenureship of office of the community's President General. He ordered that a fresh election for the executive committee be conducted in line with the community's constitution. The SSG advised the President General, Prince Sunday Eke, to obey the constitution which brought him into the office, adding that his tenure elapsed on December 30, 2024.
We set up a committee comprising of every member of every quarter or house, or I don't know how, represented in that committee. That's what Uzo should go and work out with Minister of Women Affairs, right? And Justice, so that you can throw in your delegates immediately.
Dr. Emu assured the people of the state government's readiness to constitute a committee comprising representatives of the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community and Social Development, the Ministry of Justice, and the Peace Building and Conflict Resolution to ensure a hinge-free election in the community, advising the people to maintain peace. The community representatives expressed satisfaction with the meeting and promised to comply with the state government's directives. In attendance were some top government officials. Henry Onogwa reporting.
Environmental sanitation held today across the state. In the state capital, compliance was rather low. Again, Henry Onogwa reports.
The Obogonogo Modern Market recorded traders hanging around their trading spots, waiting for the exercise to be over. Also at the Opanan Road, DBS Road, and Summit area, residents move freely about to their various destinations, while some operators of commercial tricycles, popularly known as keke, ply their various routes, even as they took care to dodge strategic areas where officials of Environment Task Force took up positions. Private vehicles moved about with little or no restrictions, despite the presence of the task force team, although a few residents were seen cleaning their business premise of commercial vehicles on the road, while others simply waited for the end of the exercise. Henry Onogwa reporting.
President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the intervention of the Finnish government with the arrest and detention of Simon Ekpa, saying the government will not tolerate actions and statements that could lead to divisiveness among citizens. Peter Mignot and the ambassador of the People's Republic of Algeria, Mr. Hossein Mizoid. The president noted that the ambassador's priorities, including ICT, agriculture, and education, will directly impact the country's development. The ambassador of Finland was said to have extolled the president for his courage in initiating reforms that will benefit the economy and ensure prosperity in the future. In a meeting with the ambassador of the European Union, President Tinubu noted that the EU remains one of the highest trading partners of Nigeria, urging the envoy to work towards elevating the volume of transactions and strengthening the ties. He said Nigeria needs support in digitalizing and automating operations and processes for rendering services. The president said the Nigerian economy could support investments with its vibrant youthful population. Mr. Mignot told President Tinubu that Nigeria holds many untapped potentials, adding that more could be realized through development, cooperation, and technology leveraging. President Tinubu urged collaboration between Nigeria and Algeria to implement the Trans-Saharan African Gas Pipeline project. The Algerian ambassador said the Trans-Saharan African Gas Pipeline project and other proposed regional development projects will significantly impact the continent. Mr. Mizoid said Algeria would continue to support Nigeria in negotiating for improved livelihood in the continent with multilateral institutions. To Nigeria, after its engagements at the 2025 World Economic Forum, WEF, in Davos, Switzerland. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkocha, stated this in a statement in Abuja. The Vice President, who represented Nigeria at the annual Global Economic Summit, presented the nation's investment opportunities to a global audience. He also had international organizations. During engagements in Davos, Senator Shettima participated in forums that drew attention to the importance of driving investment into Africa's frontier markets. At the forum entitled Roadmap to Co-Create Investment Opportunities for Africa's Frontier Markets, organized by the African Development Bank, AFDB, and WEF, the Vice President reaffirmed Nigeria's readiness to attract capital for sustainable growth. The federal government has announced the addition of over 12 new subjects to the basic education curriculum. A statement by the National Orientation Agency (NOA) said the new traits were added to the basic education curriculum to boost students' practical skills and employability. The new subjects include plumbing, tiling and floor works, POP installation, event decoration and management, bakery and confectionaries, hairstyling, makeup, interior design, GSM repairs and satellite TV antenna installation. Others are CCTV and intercom installation and maintenance, solar installation and maintenance, garment making, agriculture and processing, including crop production, beekeeping. The National Assembly has postponed its resumption date from January 28 to February 4 to allow for the completion of ongoing budget defense sessions. This was contained today in a statement by clerks of the Senate and the House of Representatives. The clerk of the Senate, Mr. Andrew Woba, said the shift was necessary due to the ongoing budget engagements. Similarly, spokesperson over 24 fleeing terrorists from Bello Turji's camp around Gebe and Isa local government area of Sokoto State, as well as around Gidon, Rijiya in Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State, were also neutralized according to the statement. Similarly, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has said the Nigerian military is on the path to becoming a superpower in the production of military equipment in a few years. General Musa stated this when he featured in a television program in Abuja. According to him, the military used to produce some of its weapons at the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DICON, but that slowed down over the years. He expressed optimism at the resumption of production of military equipment, saying the Nigerian military is now making small caliber weapons directly. General Musa said the production of military equipment locally would help create employment for the youths as well as improve the country's foreign exchange. He noted that local production of equipment would enable the Nigerian military to sell to neighboring countries and raise funds for the military. As 616 police constables passed out from the police training school Jos Plateau State capital yesterday, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, has charged them to work hard to reduce the security challenges currently facing the country. Out of the number that passed out, 404 are males, while 112 are females. Mr. Egbetokun, who congratulated the new constables, noted that they had been sufficiently equipped during their training for effective policing, adding that they would need the support of the public to work well wherever they were posted to work. The police chief urged them to uphold justice, tenacity of purpose, and the principle of justice and fairness, stressing that policing was more than a career. Mr. Egbetokun commended the trainers of the constables for equipping them with the skills needed to go out and deal with the security challenges in the country. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria (FAN) has confirmed the emergency landing of United Airlines aircraft at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. FAN said the 256 passengers and crew members were successfully deboarded from the aircraft yesterday. In a statement by the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection of FAN, Mrs. Obiageli Ora, said the United Airlines airplane Boeing 787-800 departed from Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, on Thursday, but the aircraft made an air return and landed before the aircraft made an emergency return to Lagos. The Washington-bound flight developed technical issues over Ivory Coast airspace. The flight was said to have lost pressure and had a sharp descent. The statement said aviation medical ambulances transported the injured passengers to the Murtala Mohammed Clinic and others to the headquarters clinic after they deboarded. Similarly, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria (FAN) has put a hold on all access gate fees at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. A statement by its management said the move was to alleviate the traffic burden on airport road users. The suspension will take effect from January 24, 2025 to February 7, 2025. The authority expressed its deep concern for the inconvenience caused by the ongoing construction and reinstated its commitment to ensuring a smooth travel experience for all road users. The Director General of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI, Dr. Abisoye Koka Odusote, has said the newly developed General Multipurpose Card (GMPC) has the potential to foster economic growth and also enhance the lives of Nigerians. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, Dr. Koka Odusote said the card possessed multifunctional capabilities which include online and offline identity verification, financial inclusion, social inclusion, and biometric authentication. The DG explains that the GMPC was designed to address key challenges in Nigeria, particularly for the unbanked people who had been excluded from accessing government and private sector services. NIMSI boss noted that the initiative aligned with President Bola Tinubu's vision of an efficient, data-driven government. Still to come on the news, Hamas free 4 Israeli soldiers in exchange for 200 Palestinian prisoners. Details of this and more coming up shortly.
Upgrading your TV doesn't mean buying a new one. Unbelievable, right? But with the new Airtel Smart Router, you can now watch YouTube on any TV, And also get unlimited data for 30 days to stream thrilling Nollywood movies, catch up on football highlights, and keep your kids engaged with edutainment all on YouTube. With the Airtel 25,000 Naira. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get yours. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the news. Edo State has recorded 56 Lassa fever cases and 8 deaths between December 30 last year and January this year. The Edo State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Cyril Oshomole, confirmed the incident in Benin City while formally declaring the situation of Lassa fever in the state. He said the outbreak posed significant public health risk due to its rapid transmission potentials and severe outcomes if not effectively managed. Dr. Oshomole noted that 14 patients were currently receiving specialized care at the Lassa Fever Treatment Center in Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital. According to him, the state had activated its public health emergencies response management team, collaborating with healthcare facilities, community leaders, and stakeholders to contain the outbreak. He urged residents to report anyone with symptoms like fever, weakness, headaches, vomiting, or bleeding to the nearest health facility for early detection. The commissioner also tasked the response team to reduce the case fatality rate and assured of government support to enhance Lassa fever management efforts. An unconfirmed number of people died today in a fuel tanker explosion at Ugu Onyema, Wudi local government area of Enugu State, a few kilometers from the Enugu metropolis. However, it was said that over 10 persons may have died in the fire incident. The explosion was said to have occurred around 11:30 a.m. when a tanker laden with petrol exploded on the very busy road. According to eyewitnesses, the effects of the explosion were very devastating as it destroyed many nearby vehicles and killed many. The intensity of the fire was said to have hinged rescue efforts. Victims who were reportedly burnt beyond recognition are believed to have been occupants of the vehicles caught in the inferno. The police and road safety authorities were yet to confirm the number of casualties or the cause of the explosion. The global scene is next as we join our world news desk.
Hamas today freed 4 female Israeli soldiers in exchange for 200 Palestinian prisoners, the second swap deal under the Gaza truce, although Israel halted families from returning to bombed-out North Gaza over a delay in another hostages release. The 4 freed Israelis were led onto a podium in Gaza City amid a large crowd of Palestinians and surrounded by dozens of armed Hamas men. They waved and smiled before being led off, entering Red Cross vehicles to be transported to Israeli forces. Soon after, buses carrying released Palestinian prisoners were seen departing from the Israeli Offa military prison in the occupied West Bank. Israel's prison service said all 200 have been released. The releases on either side were greeted by cheering crowds, including Israelis gathered in Tel Aviv and Palestinians assembled in Ramallah. Mexico has refused a request from President Donald Trump's administration to allow a U.S. military aircraft deporting migrants to land in the country. U.S. military aircraft carried out 2 similar flights, each with about 80 migrants to Guatemala yesterday. The government was not able to move ahead with a plan to have a C-17 transport aircraft land in Mexico. However, after the country denied permission, a U.S. official and a Mexican official confirmed the decision. Mexico's foreign ministry in a statement said the country had a very great relationship with the U.S. and cooperated on issues such as immigration. The Mexican official did not give a reason for the denial of permission to land, while the foreign ministry, the troops pushed back an attempted overnight advance by Rwanda-backed rebels on the eastern city of Goma after the sound of nearby heavy bombardment rocked the city in the early hours. The situation appeared calm in the provincial capital of over 1 million people today, with people tentatively going out about their businesses amid a heavy police presence. The 3 years M23 insurgency in Democratic Republic of Congo's mineral-rich east has intensified in January, with rebels seizing control of more territory than ever before and vying yesterday to take Goma. Congolese forces repaired an offensive on the city overnight by maintaining a defensive line. An army officer also speaking in condition of anonymity said the rebels had targeted these defenses with heavy weapons and the army had responded. The recent sharp escalation has prompted the United Nations to warn of the risk of a broader regional war. Congo, the United Nations, and others accused neighboring Rwanda of fueling the conflict with its own troops and weapons. In recent days, North Kivu's military governor was killed on the front line. Meanwhile, 3 South African servicemen were killed and 14 more were wounded in fighting in the east on Thursday.
Let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, yesterday projected that the economy will grow by 4.1% growth in 2025, as well as record decline in inflation, with continued increase in foreign exchange inflow into the country. CBN Governor Mr. Olayemi Kadoso gave this projection in a keynote address at the launching of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group 2025 Macroeconomic Outlook, adding that the foreign exchange market reform implemented in 2025 resulted to $6 billion foreign capital inflow into the country. In the same vein, the federal government has defended its projection of decline in the inflation rate to 15% this year, saying the projection is based on reality and data. Meanwhile, the NESG has recommended measures that will help the country achieve economic stability in 2025 and 5.5% economic growth rates. Also, the World Bank, while stressing the need to maintain the ongoing economic reforms, called on the federal government to increase in the number of beneficiaries of its social interventions so as to reduce the cost of the reform on the poor and the vulnerable Nigerians. The special advisor to the president on energy, Mrs. Oluvenjin, said a total of $6.7 billion was invested in Nigerian energy sector in 2024. She disclosed this in a report titled Presidency Energy Sector Wrap-Up 2024, released by her office, stressing that oil and gas sector accounted for $5.5 billion. According to the report, $400 million was invested by the federal government in the Presidential Metering Initiative, while $700 million went to clean mobility and cooking. The report indicated asset acquisition made up the $5.5 billion investment, which included Renaissance Consortium acquisitions of Shell Petroleum Development Company Limited at $1.3 billion. Also, the report captured key investments secured in the oil and gas sector through tax incentive for onshore and shallow water non-associated gas, NAG, and the deep offshore oil and gas. It indicated that SNEPCO invested $5 billion in the Bonga North Deep Offshore Project, the first greenfield deep offshore project in over a decade, with a production capacity of approximately 110,000 barrels per day. The report further highlighted Total Energies and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, $550 million investment in the Ubeta non-associated gas projects.
The draw for the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON will be conducted on Monday, January 27. The event will take place in Rabat, Morocco, which is one of the cities where the tournament will be held at the end of the year. The competition will begin on December 21, 2025, and the final will be played January 18, 2026. This will be the first time in AFCON history that the tournament will kick off in December and run over the Christmas and New Year period. Nigeria will go into Monday's draw as one of the 6 seeded teams, as they will not face host of the competition, Morocco, Ivory Coast, defending champions Senegal, Algeria, and Egypt. Next is the thought for the day. Your positive actions today can create a ripple effect of happiness. To end the news, here again are the main points. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has been awarded an Honorary Doctor of Science Honoris Causa in Public Policy and Strategy by the Novena University Ogume in recognition of his outstanding accomplishments in the governance of the state. The conferment took place during the institution's 5th combined convocation ceremony at Amai campus in Ukwani local government area. The state environmental sanitation held across the state today. In the state capital, compliance was rather low as the Ogbogonogo market recorded traders hanging around their trading spots, waiting for the exercise to be over. Also at the Opanam Road, DBS Road, and Summit area, residents moved freely about to their various destinations, while some operators of communal tricycles, popularly known as keke, plied their various routes, even as they took care to dodge strategic areas where officials of the Environment Task Force took up positions. The National Assembly has postponed its resumption date from January 28 to February 4 to allow for the completion of ongoing budget defense sessions. This was contained today in a statement by the clerks of the Senate and the House of Representatives.